So let's give a practical example. A firm that's used your artificial intelligence, how have they seen things change, and what are the results they're seeing?
Yeah, so first, I think the first thing would be the accuracy around how you recruit. So obviously making the wrong decision is not just, for both the employer and the employee, is not a good experience. So whether it is hiring someone that's not suitable for the role or the organization, or in a lot of cases you might hire a person that is a good candidate, but you hire him in the wrong role. So he doesn't perform, or he or she doesn't perform in that specific role, but if you just place them in a different role in the same department often, they would have flourished because that matched their sort of interests better and their skill sets better. Now that decision is very expensive because you have to consider not only the recruitment costs, you have to consider the training costs, the loss in productivity, and potentially if it's in a sales role, the loss in revenue, etc., etc. So that's the thing that you want to avoid in the recruitment process. So if you have a solution that can accurately recommend suitable candidates that you shortlist, you at least have a comfort that when you go to a final interview, these 3 or 5 shortlisted individuals are all capable of doing the job, and you really just apply your intuition or experience to select the right one. The other thing that's a benefit is obviously the speed. If someone applies, complete their profile, submit, that second the system can determine whether the person is suitable or not, and you can have automated communication and obviously narrow down the selection process really to a short period of time, and tomorrow morning you can have a final interview and the person can start on Monday. Which also costs companies a lot of money, the empty vacancies that sit there, because if someone resigns, 30 days notice, it might take you 60 or 90 days to fill that specific role. And the last thing is, because, especially in big corporates, big volumes, people spend endless amount of time sifting through CVs of people that applied for jobs, and especially if you submit a CV, even if you use AI solutions to look at the words and how you construct your CV in order to narrow it down, it's still relatively ineffective, because you would know you can put anything in your CV, and you obviously can make a CV sound as good or as bad as you wish, essentially. So eliminating that process for which people have to screen through thousands of CV to get to a shortlist, that obviously saves you a lot of time, and your personnel can do more sort of value-added activities. So
you started the company 2015. Are you an early adopter of AI in your sector, and do you feel that you're sort of going where no one's gone before? Like, what's going to happen going forward, and what are the challenges you see for your own company?
Yeah, so we're definitely an early adopter. I think in this space where, so like I said, there's some AI solutions in the search component. From the application to the shortlisting, screening and matching, that automated process, so certainly from what we could see globally in competition, we're the only ones in that space that are able to do that in a very accurate and scientific way. So it is, in that sense, and in that narrow sort of market, it is world first. But what we are lucky in is the fact that AI has been around in the markets for a couple of years. It's been adopted in the medical practice. It's being adapted in the customer service space, and obviously in social media and search engines. So in that space, luckily, you get the sense that people are expecting something to come up in most industries. So from that perspective, especially with more innovative companies, it's not surprising to them that a solution like this would come out. So I think from that perspective, we're in a good space. I think AI is definitely growing. I don't think it's by any means reaching maturity, and won't for years to come. So it is a growing market. So being this first to play in a certain space and specializing in a certain space in a growing market, where I think the global trend is for people to expect these type of solutions, I think is a good space to be.